Welcome back. We hope you loved video 1 on hormone health. Our bodies and the foods that we can choose to nourish it with never cease to amaze me. We have so much potential for goodness at our fingertips. And today, Kirsty is going to share another of Fibre's superpowers with us, after which I'll come back and have a chat with you around. So take it away, Kirsty.
Okay, so I want to talk about two very important superpowers. The first one being, did you know that fibre helps with the management of our cholesterol? And secondly, I want to talk about stabilizing and balancing your body, and as a lot of people call it, weight management. So let's get into the cholesterol aspect first. So there's a lot of contention about cholesterol, and look, I'm not going to go there in this video, but what I want you to know and what I want you to take away from this video is that fibre literally helps us to absorb cholesterol and eliminate it from our bodies through that small intestine, and it is a vital function that we have. If we don't have enough fibre, we can't eliminate that leftover cholesterol that we don't need anymore. And specifically, soluble fibre does that. So if you remember back to the intro video where I talked about soluble fibre being the fibre that brings the water in, that it absorbed with that water, nuts, seeds, beautiful different types of vegetables, that's the fibre you want. And through that small intestine, it binds to that cholesterol. So it's vitally important when we're managing our cholesterol to make fibre that number one priority. Now let's get into looking at balance within our body and looking at management of our weight. Now, I don't like to talk about weight management because when all systems within your body is in balance, then our body just finds that natural set point. If we can't find that natural set point, we know something is out of whack. Now, whether that be our hormones, whether that be our gut microbiome, whether it's our cholesterol, whether it be heavy metals, whatever it is, our balance, our set point tells us a lot. And this is where fibre comes in to help so much with that set point. Number one, fibre helps us with satiety. It literally just makes us feel full, which is awesome because we don't feel like we need to graze all day long. There is nothing worse than fighting against willpower and feeling like you're constantly feeling hungry, but telling yourself, I've been eating all day, I can't keep eating. Fibre hits that satiety point and helps so much. So increase the fibre just to feel full. The second thing, and I talked about that already with that hormone regulation, but interestingly, when your hormones are out of balance, we do seem to retain fluid, we retain extra weight, we retain extra hormones and toxins, and that just impacts and impedes us getting into that set point. So if you're not eating enough fibre, you're not excreting those hormones, we have a hormone imbalance where often we see the estrogen's too high, progesterone's too low, and we therefore have a lot of fluid, a lot of imbalances, and then we seem to not be able to hit that beautiful set point. So once again, fibre helps hormones, hormones helps that set point, get that weight management in place. Now, let me talk about my favorite thing, which of course is our gut microbes. Our gut microbes are fueled. They're, amazing things that need fibre to feed them. If we don't have the fibre to feed them, we can't manage our weight. Because interestingly, the microbes within our gut help us to maintain that equal set point, that weight management. We have specific bacteria in our gut that literally helps us to make short-chain fatty acids that help us to create that flexible metabolism in our body, makes energy, helps us to keep that metabolism in place. And if we don't have those microbes, our metabolism just literally gets stuck, doesn't work, and we just feel sluggish and horrible. Our microbes do so much for us, and if we're not feeding them the foods that they love, then everything gets out of whack, of course. Now, finally, from an epidemiological standpoint, when we look back through culture, when we look back through population, those that had the most diversity in their diet, the most amount of fiber in their diet, were the leaner population. And we've seen this over time. But we've also seen in so much research that a high fiber diet looks at that leaner population. It equates out to that leaner population. So we just know from history anyway, but we also know from the research papers now and the incredible amount of study that's coming out. So finally, to recap, if you want to manage, and I hope you do, your cholesterol to keep it within balance, so not too low, we don't want our cholesterol too low, and not too high, then fiber is the key, especially for that LDL, which is the cholesterol that we don't want to be too high. When we look at weight management, we're looking at that fiber to help balance our hormones, to help us keep full, to support our microbial community. And also, fiber has told us in the past, it's going to support that set balance. So I hope that's helped for you to look at how important fiber is for those superpowers of cholesterol and weight balance.
Thanks, Kirsty. Have you guys ever noticed that you feel happiest when you've got lots of energy? And when you feel sluggish and moody and tired and mentally off, when it's hard to get going in the morning, it's a struggle to feel joy. It just does not come naturally. And it's not lack of motivation or willpower that gives us that low energy. We now understand that there's a particular bacteria in our gut whose job it is to make us energy to use. And it significantly impacts our mitochondria, which is our body's energy factory. So it's well worth looking at this, because if we're not looking after our bacteria and we're not giving it what it craves, which is that diverse range of fibers on a consistent basis, then we can't very well expect to feel great. And if our microbiome is depleted, we feel depleted. And if we want to feel great and have energy to burn, then we need fiber. So we're going to talk about a few fiber-rich foods right now, and then we're going to make my go-to breakfast, which I love, and it gives you a whopping half of, say, a 35-gram fiber intake goal for the day. So all the foods that we're going to show you will be in the breakfast we're going to make. So extra points if you can figure out what the breakfast is as we go through. So we'll bring out the foods now. All right, now we are going to discover the amazing benefits of all these foods. We've got strawberries, sweet potato, green banana resistant starch, linseed, and psyllium. Let's start with strawberries. Strawberries are a whopping, well, I should correct myself. The carb content of strawberries is 26% fiber. And a mere and delicious half cup of strawberries gives you around 2.5 grams of fiber. But it's not just the fiber in the strawberries that makes it so amazing for our health. Strawberries are rich in an antioxidant called anthocyanins. Now, anthocyanins are what give the berries and other bright plants their rich color. And remember, antioxidants are like those warriors that go into battle, the free radicals inside of our body, so they're really good. Now, Dr. Neil Barnard, who's really well known for his work studying how food impacts our brain particularly, has said that increasing our anthocyanin intake has shown a marked improvement in recall and memory in just 3 months. So strawberries are a great addition for our brain health as well. But it's not just our brain that anthocyanins are good for. Anthocyanins are also great for many other health benefits, but most notably our heart. Now, strawberries are also really high in other goodies like manganese, folate, potassium, and again, that little half cup of strawberries gives us around our full vitamin C intake for the day. That's for a woman, an average woman leading an average lifestyle. Now, strawberries are also low GI, so they're going to give us that stable release of energy through the day without those big spikes in blood sugar. They're great at fighting oxidative stress and inflammation. So what is not to love about strawberries? I also love sweet potato. Now, sweet potato is obviously sweet, and it pairs beautifully with chocolate and really well with the breakfast that we're about to make. Now, we already know, Kirsty said that sweet potato, when it's cooked and then cooled, does turn into a resistant starch, which, as we know, travels through the stomach and the small intestine to the colon, where it then feeds those great good bacteria again in our gut. But here's another bonus fun fact. 1/4 of this steamed and pureed sweet potato, which I always have on hand in my freezer, I just always steam it, puree it, freeze it up and put it in the freezer. And you'll see why when we make the breakfast, because I use it so much. But 1/4, which is one little square here, gives us 8 times our daily intake of vitamin A. Now, we need vitamin A to create and support those healthy teeth, bones, and skin. It's really good for helping our eyesight in the dark, and it's a crucial antioxidant for our immune response as well. So sweet potato all the way. Really great resistant starch there. Another great resistant starch is green banana resistant starch. Now, this is undeniably one of the most underrated functional foods in the world. We know what resistant starch is. This starch also helps to seal and heal the gut, lower inflammation, and help your body to absorb other antioxidants and minerals from other foods as well, especially calcium. Now, it does help us feel fuller as well. So we're going to have that satiated feeling. We're not going to start reaching for those seconds. And you're going to connect the dots about why that is in a minute when I tell you the foods that resistant starch is rich in. Resistant starch is found in starchy foods like breads, pastas, legumes, starchy veg, nuts, some seeds. I think that's around it. But not all resistant starches are created equal. The amount of resistant starch in a food can vary a lot depending on how it's cooked, how it's processed, whether it's reheated, whether it comes from a genetically modified source. And I think that's about it. Now, we're going to give you a resource that shows you all the best foods for resistant starch for your body, and also ways that you can get it in. So watch this space for that. But for now, it's really interesting to know that CSIRO has actually found this green banana resistant starch to be the most potent, high quality resistant starch found on Earth. Now, it's made from ladyfinger bananas in North Queensland, and I've been lucky enough to meet the farming family, Rob and Krista Watkins, who are behind this starch. They made me a banana waffle made from their green banana flour, and I was hooked ever since. Now, aside from giving us that diverse range of fibers, this starch is also rich in something called 5-hydroxytryptophan, which is that immediate precursor for serotonin. And we know that serotonin is that feel-good hormone that helps us feel good, balance those hormones, prevent headaches, and improve our sleep. So this starch is also really high in minerals and helps us absorb more minerals from other food as well. Now, 1 heaped tablespoon, get this, gives us a whopping 12 to 13 grams of resistant starch. That is just phenomenal. Now, I won't lie, although we have disguised this well in the breakfast that we're about to make, using more than 1 scoop, which is less than a tablespoon, you see the scoop inside, does impact the taste significantly, but because it's so powerful, it's well worth adding in wherever you can. Okay, moving on to linseeds. Now, 1 tablespoon of linseeds gives you around 2 grams of fiber. Now, linseeds are a nutritional powerhouse full of vitamins and minerals and other health-promoting compounds. If you're meat-free, then you're going to find this a really quality source of protein. There's 3 main health benefits that make flax seeds shine, though. Number 1 is that it's high in fiber. Number 2 is that it's really high in omega-3 fatty acids for brain health and mood health. Now, if you're a vegetarian or you don't eat fish particularly, then you're going to find this possibly your best source of whole food omega-3. Now, there are 2 essential fatty acids that your body doesn't make. It needs to get it from the food that you eat. One of those is ALA, and linseeds are really high in that. So that's a really wonderful thing going for it as well. The third benefit that makes it shine is that it's really high in an antioxidant called lignans. Now, there have been several studies that have explored how lignans have impacted on various types of cancers. And they've found that flax seeds, because they're so high in lignans, are a potential really powerful source of food to help fight those various cancers. And we're only talking a small amount of lignans too. In one study, the women who had breast cancer in this instance had 1.3 milligrams of lignan a day with great results. 1 teaspoon of flax seeds gives us 7 milligrams of lignan. So it's really easy to get into your day as well. So I love to grind it up in the mill or the processor, whatever you've got, the blender, and create that meal that you can then keep in the fridge or in the cupboard. And then you can sprinkle it in your yogurt, over your lunch, mix it into your dinner, anything. Love those. Psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is, I was going to say 30, 70% soluble fiber. There's also insoluble fiber in there too, so it doesn't leave much for anything else but fiber. So it's definitely a fiber-rich whole food choice. Now, because it's rich in fiber, it's tempting to go to this one source all the time for your fiber needs because you're getting so much fiber from it. But it's really important to remember what Kirsty said. It's the diversity of fiber that matters just as much as the quantity of fiber. Now, psyllium is great at what it's very well known for, which is helping digestion. And it also doesn't increase your flatulence. So it has one up on beans there, I guess. But it's not just great for number 2s. It's also a prebiotic. So again, it goes in to feed those good bacteria in the gut. And it's also beneficial for your heart and your pancreas. So psyllium is the predominant ingredient in many leading fiber supplements. And what you'll find is that, like I said, they're not giving you that diversity. So if you go for a range of these beautiful fiber-rich whole foods, your fruits, your veggies, and then these whole foods here with some others that we're going to show you as well, you're going to find that your body will thrive and it's going to love having all this stuff inside of you. So now we're going to make our breakfast. We're about to make my favorite breakfast in the whole world, a supercharged smoothie. Now, why is it my favorite? 4 reasons. It is oh so fast, especially when you use a premix, like I'm going to teach you how. Number 2, it gives you all of the macro and micronutrients that you need for a balanced day. So you can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and we've had it for dinner more than once. Number 3, it is easy to really target those individual health goals that you have. So today we are going to make a gut-loving smoothie. And if you're interested in how to use different foods for your individual health goals, I can give you a link to learn how to make your own premixes, or you can even order from the Whole Food Collective as well. Now, the 4th reason is that it delivers big on those Fab 4, so fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Now, we're talking fiber, obviously, today. So if you're going for around that 35 gram mark of fiber intake a day, then this single serve of smoothie is going to give you half of that, which is incredible. Now, we have a 10-day challenge dedicated to learning how to build these targeted smoothies. So consider this your barely scratched the surface crash course. Now let's go ahead and make the strawberries and cream gut-loving smoothie. It's a very unconventional smoothie, but we love it because the kids dig the taste and we cannot believe how much goodness you can squish in there. All right, we are gonna make the base of the smoothie first. The base of your smoothie is just 3 things: a liquid, a fruit, and a veg. For today's liquid, we are going simply for water and ice and cultured yogurt. Cultured yogurt is basically coconut cream that's had the sweetness removed and a therapeutic grade potent probiotic added back in. Now you can get the starter that does that from Cultured Wellness, and we can link you to that. But this yogurt has been shown to support those who are seeking a healthy gut generally, as well as those with allergies, inflammation, autoimmune conditions, autism, ADHD, those with liver problems. When you've had antibiotics and you're coming off those, it's a good time to have it as well. It's really easy to make. You simply just add the starter with some canned coconut cream. You mix it together and you put it on the bench for a couple of days. And you can make 10 litres out of one starter, so it's quite economical as well. So we add some water, and the water's not very cold today, so I'm just going for ice. And you can pop in as much yogurt as you want to. My kids I love to put it in my kids' smoothies because they don't really detect it, and it just gives a really nice creamy taste to the smoothies as well. And the smoothie that we're making today is called strawberries and cream, and that's where the cream comes from. So the fruit, the second part of our base is fruit. We're going for strawberries and banana. We've already spoken about how wonderful strawberries are. I'm not going to rabbit on about bananas too much, other than to say that they have those antiviral and antifungal compounds that help to support that healthy gut flora as well. So we're going to go in with the strawberries and the bananas. Usually one frozen banana is plenty. These are teeny tiny, so I'm going to do a bit more than one today. And like I said, it is best frozen because it does add that creamy factor to your smoothie and help it just be nice and cold as well. Now the vegetable for our base is the steamed, pureed and frozen sweet potato. Why? One, it's delicious, and two, remember, it's now turned into a resistant starch to feed all those good gut bugs we've got going on. Oh, now this has been sitting out a bit long, so it's a bit mushy. So in they go. That's our liquid, our fruit, and a veg. That's our base done. Now it's time for the premix. Now the reason I suggest using a premix is for the power that can be gained from having that diverse range of whole foods on a daily basis. But we've got to be practical. Pulling all this stuff out on the regular to make your smoothie is really not practical and really not appealing at all. And I would know because that's what I used to do before making premixes. So do yourself a favor and either make yourself a premix using the education in this video or in the Supercharged Smoothie Challenge, or you can order one from the Whole Food Collective, knowing that it's been tried and tested a gazillion times for a taste and balanced nutritionally by a nutritionist and a naturopath. So we're going to throw together this premix. We've got chia seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, pepitas, gelatin, bone broth, mesquite, linseeds, slippery elm powder, lucuma powder, green banana resistant starch, psyllium, maca powder, beetroot powder, and stevia. Oh, that's a whole lot of amazingness in one big bunch here. Now the fiber leaders here are your chia seeds, psyllium, maca powder, and flax seeds. Now, we've already spoken about the green banana resistant starch and the chia and a couple of others, but before we say goodbye to them prematurely, I just want to remind you of what we spoke about with Jess Donovan, the pediatric naturopath, how she taught that there's 4 out of 5 essential nutrients that we need that are covered with these seeds. So we've got zinc, omega-3, iron and magnesium. We've spoken about them already, but suffice to say that we can't make zinc in our body. We have to get it from the foods that we eat. And touching on omega-3, did you know that if we were to suck all of the water out of our brain, we would be mostly left with fat? Now that's how important good fats, omega-3s are for our brain health. So we need those 4 nutrients, and these 5 seeds deliver big on all of them. So they pretty much have it all. So we're going to move them to the side because we've spoken a little bit about them already. We'll say goodbye to them. And we'll say goodbye to these guys. We've already spoken about them. I think that's it. So let's have a quick chat about gelatin. Gelatin is odorless, it's flavorless, and it's very low in calories, but what it does have, it packs a punch. It's got a unique structure of amino acids. It doesn't have all of the essential amino acids, so it's really important that you do supplement with other sources of quality protein as well. It's a rich food source of the amino acid called glycine, which is particularly great for mental health, particularly schizophrenia and OCD. Studies show that you can make your own glycine, but likely not going to make enough for what you need. So it is important to make sure that you're getting glycine through the foods that you eat as well. Now, the reason that we've included gelatin in the gut-loving smoothie is obviously on account of what it does in the gut. Now, it can help to protect the gut wall from damage, and it can help heal the gut by enhancing the gastric acid secretion and supporting that healthy mucosal lining in the stomach. Now, away from the gut, gelatin can help with joint and bone pain in athletes and even osteoarthritis sufferers. It can also improve hair growth and thickness, and it's been linked with a decrease in liver damage and also slowed cancer growth. So it's got quite a lot going for it. Now, lastly, I'm not a big proponent of using foods solely for weight loss purposes, but this gelatin is very low in calories, but it also makes your tummy feel very full and satiated. So if you are a regular user of gelatin and you have weight to lose, then you might experience weight loss as a bit of a side benefit to using it. Now, along with gelatin, bone broth is another rich source of amino acids and glycine, so it does help with that, restoring the gut health and strengthening your immunity and lowering that inflammation in the body as well. Now, it does have other health promoting compounds for liver function, healthy cells, digestion, circulation, and the long cook time of bone broth actually brings out more of those anti-inflammatory compounds that you actually find in really expensive supplements for arthritis and joint pain. So it's basically just a high quality, organic, dehydrated bone broth. And we actually dug deep with this supplier around issues about animal welfare, processing, and ingredients, and we were really pleased with their answers on those things. Mesquite powder is rich in soluble fiber. It's got a good amount of omega-3s, zinc, protein, minerals, and get this, it's been shown to prevent headaches and migraines. Now, slippery elm powder is basically the inner bark of the slippery elm tree, dried and crushed into a powder. And it's been used as a herbal remedy for centuries in Northern America in healing salves and poultices for burns and boils and ulcers and skin inflammation. When it has contact with water, the slippery elm powder turns into like a gel-like substance, and that's what gives it much of its medicinal properties. And it soothes all kinds of mucous membranes, including the digestive, urinary, and respiratory tracts. It also tightens the surface that it touches, which provides that really effective bacterial infection barrier there as well. It has been my family's go-to for burns, and it has worked a charm when nothing else has. Surprisingly, it's actually really high in nutrients too, so it's even been used as a gruel for those with intestinal inflammation and for babies and the elderly as well. Lucuma. Lucuma powder is the official ice cream flavor of Peru. It's a really nice natural sweetener and is simply the fruit of a lucuma fruit that's been really gently dried and crushed again. It has a very subtle caramel or maple flavor, so it's really quite lovely. And at a whopping 4 grams of fiber per teeny tiny teaspoon, for all of us fiber lovers, it may become our new favorite add-in for drinks and yogurts and all sorts of things. Now, it's not just fiber that it's great for though. It's rich in vitamins and minerals, notably iron, niacin, and beta-carotene as well. Now, maca powder is really interesting. It's an adaptogen, which means that it helps our body adapt to stress. Now, it also helps to lower inflammation, helps to balance out those hormones, and has an alkalizing effect on the body. I really like to add a small amount to basically anything I make here in the kitchen: pancakes, smoothies, any baked goods. It's really easy to fit in because it's got a subtle sweet caramel flavor, and it's safe for children and pregnant women to have in small quantities too. we are powering on. We got beetroot powder, which again is just dehydrated beetroots crushed into a powder. Get this, 1 teaspoon equals 1 beetroot. Now it's lots of antioxidants are in here and lots of other good stuff too, like vitamins and minerals, and most notably nitrate, which helps increase that blood flow to the brain. And studies have shown that it can help increase stamina during exercise and combine forces with vegetables like broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables to help the liver do the magnificent work of detoxing in our bodies. Now, finally, our last one, stevia. Now, if you want to sweeten your smoothie just a little, you can reach for stevia or monk fruit powder. It's not going to overload your system with fructose. You only need a small amount because it is very sweet. So less is more. Stevia is a whopping 200 times sweeter than sugar in the same concentration. Monk fruit is around 8 times as sweet. So make sure that you're reaching for a high quality organic green stevia powder or a monk fruit powder that's free of processing aids as well. So guys, now it's time to bring back all these other friends and finally turn that blender on and make our smoothie. All right, we have everyone here. Now, like we said, you can spend 5 or 10 minutes opening up every single little jar, measuring out your quantity and adding it to your blender, or you can make your own premix or order one, this guy, and just simply use a couple of heaped scoops. And you are laughing. We are gonna blend this guy up for about 60 seconds. All right, guys, here we have it. This is our strawberries and cream gut-loving supercharged smoothie. That is one delicious smoothie right there. And I know it's going to target what you want it to target. Now, don't waste any undrunk smoothie. If you've got some spare, you can pour it into, I'll show you, these ice cream molds. You've got little kiddie ones and larger adult ones. And you can just pour it in here like this. And then, whoa, not like that. That was too much. And then you can just put it in the freezer. Alternatively, you can pop it in a insulated tumbler like this one, and it will just keep it cold while you sip on it all day long. So this is the smoothie that our kids love the most because of the taste. And since you've made it this far in the video, you know why I love it. Now, I hope that you've loved learning from Kirsty about one of the superpowers of fiber being helping our body to find that set point and keep our cholesterol balanced. And I also hope you've loved learning how to make a supercharged smoothie with me. Now, tomorrow we are sending a fun little challenge your way. And then watch out for the next day's video where Kirsty will share another superpower of fiber and we'll make a fiber-rich lunch together. All right, see you later, guys. Enjoy.